Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. A year or so ago, I created a tutorial video on Facebook Metapixel installation for a normal website, not an e-commerce one via Google Tag Manager route. But the limitation of that video was, first of all, it was an e-commerce focused. So for many of you guys who run e-commerce stores and who want to track e-commerce transactions, this implementation isn't really helpful. Plus, it's a little outdated, and on top of that, it was implemented via a community template called Facebook Pixel within Google Tag Manager, and that has its own issues from perspective of security and reliability. So this time around, I'm going to approach this in a very customized, custom-tailored way, where we will be implementing all the codes within Google Tag Manager without having to rely on a template, right? And I have also put everything together in a file for you guys, all these steps for you guys to go through and implement in an easier manner possible. I will link the Google Doc file in the description, and I will put the data layer code in a separate tab in here. So you just have to change a few things at the top and paste it as it is, and then you can head over to the Facebook setup part where we'll have all those data layer variables, the tags and triggers and everything, right? So first of all, what you have to do is, in order for you to implement this, you have to change the GTM code with yours. So if you go to your Google Tag Manager, you will see your GTM installation ID at the top, right? You can just copy and head over to this file, paste in here. And similarly, this is more for Google advertising or Google dynamic remarketing campaigns that you might be running, or at least it's really important later on if you want to implement tracking for other platforms as well, including Google Ads. I would suggest keeping these, but just changing the IDs. So this ID should reflect the Google Merchant Center ID that you have, and depending on where you operate, if you're in the US, your Merchant Center country code will be US. In the case of maybe UK, it will be UK, and so on, right? And this is the shipping time. You can change it to whatever that suits you. So you can copy this entire code, head over to your Shopify store, go to the settings, and click on customer events, create a new pixel, give it a name, Google Tag Manager, right? Add this. I already have this added. Once you click on add, you'll be seeing this this area to paste your code. So just paste that entire code in here, and set the permissions to maybe not required, and depending on how it implements in your case, data collected does not qualify as data sales, and save. And at the top, you have to click connect. Mine is already connected, so I have an option to disconnect. In your case, it will be, if you're doing it the first time, connect option, click on connect, and you're good to go. Of course, I'm assuming that you might already have the Google Tag Manager installed. That's not the scope of this video as to how you can install Google Tag Manager, but essentially you have to go to the store and click on that theme.liquid file, and from there you can go to the theme.liquid file code, and within the head section you can implement the Tag Manager base code, and everything should be good to go. Now, one more thing, that if you have, let's say, a Shopify store, and you have connected, let's say, your Shopify store with your Facebook account via Facebook and Instagram channel, or Facebook and Instagram app, you might have, let's say, pixel connected from there, and you have to disable that, otherwise it's going to cause double counting, right? So if you only have a Shopify, Facebook, Instagram sales channel installed using the same pixel, right? You can either change the pixel. If you have a different pixel installed within Meta, you can use that and keep the channel one as well. But if you're using a single pixel, right, you cannot have it implemented within the Facebook and Instagram channel as well as within Google Tag Manager. That way, you know, it will cause double counting, and you want to avoid that by any means. So you can go to your Shopify if you want to pause it and click on, let's say, Facebook and Instagram app. Go to settings, and down there under data sharing, you know, if it's turned on, you will see this one is turned on here. All right, one of these options selected. You can go for maximum, enhanced, and conservative. In your case, if you want to implement this via Google Tag Manager, you want to turn this off, right, like this, and that's it. And now you can refer to all these steps that I have in this document. We are going to go through it together. So the first thing is for you to copy your Facebook pixel, right? If you go here, you know, you go to your Ads Manager, Events Manager, you will have a data set set up. If you haven't, if you are using a fresh account and don't have any data sets created, you know, you can just click on connect data sets and click on, let's say, this web part, and next, and you will have that in a few steps. And once you create that, you know, you will see the metapixel ID like this, and you can copy that, or you can, you know, access it by going to the overview and going down to the integration part. Click on metapixel, click on install pixel on a new website, and install code manually, right? And you can copy the code. I mean, this is simple. You can copy it now. You can use it later as well. We're going to be using this entire snippet later, so it's better you copy it and paste somewhere. And you can copy this code, your pixel code, from here. And now you can head over to Google Tag Manager and go to variables. We want to create a constant first of all, so that we can reuse that later. So create new, give it a name, let's say Facebook or FB pixel, and for reference the pixel name. Click here, click on search, type in constant, put in the value and save it. Once you are done with that part, now what we are going to be doing is setting up variables, right? So we'll be creating dataLayer variables, a few variables, the e-commerce ones, and then we have the URL just to ensure that the data is passed over to Facebook, right? So I want the URL to be set up as well to track those UTM parameters, and then any search terms coming from Facebook, etc., should also be covered, right? So just go to, you can copy, you know, this bar, head over to your variables, click on new. Sorry, mistakenly I created a folder that's not one. So I click on variable and click on new. This is just the name part I copied from here. It can be anything you like, right? You can just put in DLV and e-commerce, because e-commerce DLV is what it's about, and you have to copy this thing. This has to really match with what we have here. You can't just change this part, right? This has to align with how the tracking parameters are in Facebook's own guidelines, so you have to copy it as it is. So you can click type dataLayer variables, type in that exact e-commerce, and more importantly, this is what we are going to be having in the data layer that we just pasted on the Shopify image, so it has to match, right? And similarly, this part, just copy, let's say, new, I'm just going to remove this part, go to data layer, type in that URL, this one, and save it. Again, for the DLV search term, another DLV, copy this part, type in data layer, paste. Okay, now we are done with our data layers. Next, we are going to be creating custom JavaScript variables for each of these data layers, starting with, let's say, JS meta content, right? So again, the same process, copy this part, go to new, paste the name, and in here type in custom JavaScript, and you can copy this entire part of the code and save it. Copy, new, paste, custom Java, save. So I'm gonna just run through it and maybe speed up the video, right? So either you can get a sense of how it's done if you get stuck somewhere. Otherwise, it's self-explanatory, and you just have to copy from there, paste in here, and complete the process. Okay, now that we have created the custom JavaScript variables, it's time for us to create the triggers, right, for all the e-commerce events. So we have, let's say, the PageView event, we have view item event, we have AddToCart, ViewCart, begin checkout, add payment information, and we have purchase event, and we have search, right? So all of these are important events that we want to pass over to Meta whenever these events happen. Most importantly, the e-commerce one. So we're gonna be creating these one by one now. Copy the name, go to your trigger, again same process. Click on new, paste the name. And for the event, it's just gonna be a custom event, right? So you just type in custom event and place, put in the name and save it. Similarly, for all the other triggers, just copy their names. You can name them however you like, whatever that makes sense to you. But this part has to be the same as you can see on the stock file. So custom event and paste, save, and proceed with the rest. Okay, the purchase is important. Just have to create this one as well. And if you're wondering what this C stands for, it's for custom event, right? It's custom event. So we have CE for short. And the last one is search, copy, paste, custom event, and save. We are done with the triggers. Now what remains are the tags, right? So we have to create those tags as well. So the very first tag is the base code, right? The Facebook page view code. So as I mentioned earlier, if you have copied from your install metapixel section from here, you can copy this, paste it, and then according to the document, you have to create a new one, and a new HTML, and set it to all pages and save there. So if we go to tags, create a new, give it a name. I think, let's say meta base code, and here it's gonna be HTML, custom HTML. Paste the entire block of code in here, and for the trigger, set it to all pages and save it. Right, this is going to trigger the page view events. Next are the event specific, the custom event specific tags. So we have all these different events in here. We have the page view, view item, AddToCart, begin checkout, add payment info, and purchase, etc. Those events. Now we have to, those triggers, now we have to create tags for each of those triggers and map those triggers to the respective tags, right? So starting with page view, you can, let's say, copy the name from here, start with page view, and trigger is going to be this, name is going to be page view, and here you just have to copy this script. Everything we are implementing is via code now, right? So you have to be careful when you're copying the code. So in here you can go and type in custom HTML, right? Make sure it's not custom script, it's custom HTML, because the script tags are in here, so it has to be within an HTML file structure. And then for the trigger, as it's a page view, as we have created a page view trigger in the previous step, we just have to map this trigger. We just created custom event Shopify page view to this tag, right? So you'll find that if you click on trigger now, you'll find that somewhere. So custom event Shopify page view, and save it. Proceed with the next. Now it's gonna be ViewContent one. So just copy the name, create a new one, again custom HTML, paste the block of code from here, the script, and for trigger it's view item, right? For the view content, for the trigger you have to choose CE dash view item. Save, proceed with the next. This one is AddToCart. you might not have a choice to skip is the purchase one, because it's an e-commerce, and by all means you want to track the e-commerce events. The purchase events really important. So copy and this entire script. For the trigger, you should have a purchase custom event and save that. So now we are done with pretty much everything. The last one that remains is this one, meta search. Let's do that as well real quick. And copy the script, paste. Okay, so it's like C search. So C search, save. This is pretty much it. We are done with all the steps necessary to implement all these events, and now it's time for us to submit it and test it, right? So we are going to test this, and unfortunately, since Shopify has switched to its checkout extensibility experience, and we are not able to test everything via the debug view mode that we used to within Google Tag Manager before. Now we can't do that. So if we, for example, go to preview and go through a few steps, we'll be able to track events as far as the checkout section, but after checkout, Google Tag Manager is going to disconnect, but it doesn't really mean that data is not passing, right? So if you go to checkout, for example, you see everything is being tracked in here. All the events are coming through, but as and when we reach the checkout section, it kind of disconnects and we're not able to see what happens beyond, right? That's because they are operating in a sandboxed environment, and there's disconnect between Google Tag Manager and Shopify as far as this debug view is concerned. But as far as the tracking implementation is concerned, it works fine, right? So if a user goes through this entire process and submits this checkout form, those e-commerce transactions will come through. Alright, now we're going to test by processing a test transaction on the website. So let's go search for a test product. And before we do that, we are also going to go to Shopify, and I would suggest turning the pixel helper on so that we see the events coming through in there as well. So if you go to settings again, click on custom events, click on the GTM Google Tag Manager code, and here you have an option to test it, right? So you have to enable that, and now search for, let's say, the test product. So we see, this pixel helper basically helps us understand as to what types of events are firing on specific pages, and depending on the user interaction. So I have now, let's say, added a product to, I'm on the product page, so I'm seeing, product viewed and page viewed events. If I click on, let's say, AddToCart, based on how we have set things up, and the data layer that we have within Shopify, I'm going to be seeing these different events in here, right? So cart viewed, page viewed, and now if I click on checkout, I'll be seeing the checkout event coming through as well. So checkout is started, right? So let's fill the checkout and complete this order. And the pixel helper tells us that all the events have successfully triggered, including the product view, page view, add to cart, checkout initiation, and then we have lastly checkout completed event, right? So everything works pretty good as far as the pixel helper is concerned on Shopify side. No issue at all. And on the Facebook side, if we go to, let's say now, to our data sets, choose the metapixel and click on test events, click on, let's say, confirm the website event, type in the URL, let's say in this case canonist.com, click on test event, and you will start seeing the activities in here, right? So clearly the data is coming through as far as the page view events are concerned. So if I click on, let's say, the product, test product, I should also see some of the events in here, right? So I have these, maybe ViewContent event, and if I add it to cart and checkout, and I see AddToCart event has been added. Now definitely there's no other channel through which Ada is connected with this website. The pixel is disconnected in the Facebook and Instagram channel, so we will tag manager is the only route, and these events are coming through. And now the last step is the checkout completion stage. I'm gonna complete this test order and go back to the test tool and see the payment info is added, and now the purchase event also successfully triggered. So it works pretty well. There are no issues at all. Everything is working perfectly fine on the Facebook side and Pixel Helper as well. Unfortunately, we cannot test this. We will tag managers debug view mode for the reason I just mentioned, but the tag is working perfectly fine. I hope this video is helpful, and if you have any comments or if you run into any problem, feel free to mention those in the comment section, and if you have any future video suggestion, feel free to mention those as well. If you're not a subscriber, I would definitely encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for your time.